Welcome everybody, welcome to a new episode. Got Scrimmy here as usual. This is actually take two because I I started recording and then I was like, wait a second, where did I put the Nether portal? And I completely forgot, and I had to I had to stop the recording, go watch the previous episode, and it was right here, but I just, for some reason I thought it was underground. And anyway, how is everyone doing? Welcome back to NZ Survival. This is episode 4. Oh, that's a ghast. I should probably get a bow, because, yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do about the ghasts. Okay. So what I'm wanting to do is to just, find some things, get some quartz. Be really good if I could find some sort of structure, if it be a bastion or a fortress. The likelihood is kind of low, but I will do my best. Yeah, so I know that this format of video, I'm noticing an interesting non-linear curve with the amount of views each video gets. It seems to be every video is half the amount of views of the previous one, which honestly, as I said, I knew that when I first started it was going to be important, because it would give people sort of an idea of what this series might be, and I don't expect it to be for everyone, right? I really don't expect this sort of format to be everyone's cup of tea, because it's not edited in a way that is always entertaining, right? I don't have... Yes, I do. So, I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to make it more entertaining, but I find if I focus too much on the game, then I can't talk about interesting things, and vice versa. So it's just something that I'm still trying to figure out. And I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this series. I thought it'd be kind of cool to just keep doing it, every week. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. So, yeah, hey piglins, can you help me? Thank you. Oh my god. Yeah. So I'll just do it whenever I guess feel like it. Next week is Christmas week, so there's no way did you guys just kill the 2 piglins? You little... That's horrible. Okay. That's... Got lots of stuff that I don't need. Yeah, so I don't know. I was hoping to sort of do some interesting things. It's been a while since actually I spent time in the Nether. Oh, they've got spears now. It's so cool. I remember, I was just sort of thinking about this in terms of Minecraft. I remember when all of this new stuff for the Nether was added. I was so... Like, surely there are people who are watching. Do you remember the Nether update, right? It was like transformational. Everything just transformative? Yeah. Because I remember it just... We were so used to the old Nether being this barren... Ow. That, yeah, them adding all of this stuff was crazy. genuinely didn't think it was gonna happen. But this is kind of related to a lot of other stuff that's sort of happening in the Minecraft world, but I just feel like ever since the Nether update, there's been this air of we have to change stuff, or we have to always add things, which I don't know. I feel like I'm stating the obvious because, of course, it's a game. They want to add and do more and da da da. I get that, but there's just something. There's something empty about a lot of the stuff that's been happening to Minecraft that I can't quite explain very well. Like, I have absolutely no idea why I don't feel as compelled to play the game as much. I mean, I've got other things to do. I've got so many personal projects and work, and there's a lot happening in my life, but the game doesn't, you know, as I said, it doesn't compel me. It doesn't sort of pull me in as much as it used to. I really need to clean up my inventory. I don't know. It's kind of concerning because I don't know if that's like a me problem, or something else. I'm really not sure. Yeah, because I watch YouTubers who play Minecraft quite often, and you know, I keep up with Etho, I keep up with Mumbo, I keep up with, yeah, as many people as I can. But it just, I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard to describe. Yeah, because I guess the reason why I started making the series was because I kind of wanted a reason to keep playing. And yeah, and like it works for the most part. Like as I said, I feel more compelled than I have in the past. To play. No, Scrimmy, hey, come here, Scrimmy. Gosh, I did not say you could go outside. Thank you very much. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. Like in some parts, I'm hoping that as time goes on, maybe I would gain a fair amount of people who would actually be looking forward to the next episodes and things like that. The frequency of it, I think, is interesting. I know that for some people it's a sort of a weird time. But I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, because this whole thing and putting yourself out there via some recorded video is something that I consume, but I seem to struggle to partake in. For example, I really, really love the idea of talking about some future projects that I'm working on, or like also, this is interesting. When I place a chest there, which one will it connect to? Interesting. Yeah, so there's so many things that I want to do. There's so many videos I want to work on, I guess. I don't know, this is so unordered. What am I doing here? Yeah, I don't have a system here. I need to... Let's go that. Redstone, whatever, you can go there. Raw copper. Thank you, Scrimmy. Now that chicken, no, okay. Pork chop. So, yeah, because like I've been working on quite a few things. One of my ideas in particular has been to basically consider the usual applications involved with most operating systems, right? So you think about when you open up an operating system, if it be Mac, Linux, Windows, whatever, what are the tools, i.e. executables, that you... Oh, God, what am I doing? That you use the most, right? So when you think about using the operating system, you think about the sort of... like every single time you open up, like what is oh God, my brain is okay, file explorer, calculator, notepad, image preview, you see where I'm getting at? Like these sort of fundamental applications that don't change, because you know, you're never needing to... Like, I'm thinking of File Explorer. Like, Windows File Explorer is pretty trash sometimes. It just doesn't work as intended. Many of my coworkers experience, like, crashes, and especially with Windows 11. My God. Actually, let's put this here. And it's frustrating. And so there's a part of me that not only wants to seek better solutions, but also to potentially make better solutions. To make solutions that are better. Can't talk properly today. Scrimmy. What should I do? I should probably... 5 diamonds. Let's go... Axe. I should probably make a enchanting... table. It's some enchanting table. Gee, you know what? Yeah. So I'm thinking. Almost. Also, does that do more damage? Oh, it's slightly faster. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm thinking about making tools or executables that, using very raw, like fundamental, from the ground up structures, using C, so the C language, but using it in a way that sort of answers the question of, how can I do X with the least amount of operations? So when you think about Windows applications, a lot of the time they're very bloated for no particular reason. Well, other than they can, and they can just get away with it, right? So I'm seeing if I have string. I don't, do I? And you can't make string with wool, right? I don't think so. No, you can't. God damn. Okay, yeah, so... Actually, I probably need... some more blocks, just in case. Yeah, so when you think about, let's say, Notepad, if you actually look at the Notepad executable, if you go into Windows and you find it, you will find that it's quite big. I remember, I can't remember the exact number. Actually, I wonder if I can do it now. OBS is only recording Minecraft, so you can't see this, but if I just go notepad.exe, let's have a look. Windows, notepad.exe, 196 kilobytes. Interesting. Is there a photos.exe? Photos, Microsoft Photos. I mean, a lot of them probably use like external libraries. But yeah, 196 kilobytes. And that's actually pretty big, believe it or not. Especially for Notes. Notes doesn't have to... It only needs to load text files. So when you consider the fact that it has very basic features, it only loads things as text, right? Why is it that big? Now, you could argue, oh, 196 kilobytes isn't that big, but it is. That's huge. That's 196,000 bytes for something that, oh my god, for something that just edits text. I remember sort of playing with this idea in the past, and I made my own version of Notepad. Very, very primitive, albeit. You know, you can edit text, you can... just basic operations, right? And it printed with a really basic bitmap font and didn't have any libraries. This is the other part. There's a lot of these Windows applications that they rely on Windows libraries that exist. And that's why they're not super big, because they, yeah. I don't have a frickin'... Can I hit? Come on. Come at me. Come at me. Really? You can't see me? Come on. You can see me. Thank you. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, get... I didn't really think about that. Well, there goes my treasure. That's cool. That's awesome. I saw something else. It was, obviously the ghast here, but there was something else as well. Do ghasts just drop something more now? Interesting. That's right. It looked like a pork chop. I couldn't really see what it was. Oh gosh, where do we go? Where do we go? I don't know where the nearest... I know there's like a technique where you... I don't know how to do it, but you can sort of see where the most entities are or something like that. I don't freaking know. I'm going to just be reckless and just straight up... I'm just gonna do this. So while we're doing this, I'm gonna talk. So yeah, so Notepad, if you actually sort of have very basic features, very similar, you know, to the Notepad that already exists, and you compile it, not even with TCC. So if you compile it with the tiny C compiler, it'd be even smaller. But the problem is that you're sacrificing performance, and I tend to prefer using GCC, but then just adding all the stripping options and the compressive options, and then compress it with UPX as well to make it even smaller. But even then, sometimes it's not always required. But you're talking about something that's like, I don't know, 30 kilobytes, maybe even smaller. And that's kind of where I'm getting at. And I know that's such a... you know, comparing 196 to 30... Like, we're talking kilobytes here. We're not talking gigabytes. And I get that, but for me, I find it fascinating because it sort of sparks this conversation of why aren't things smaller? Why aren't things more optimized and performant and load instantly. Like Notepad takes like a second, sometimes, depending on how much I've got going on, but a lot of the time that's purely just because there's other libraries it has to load, and oh my god, I'm in the middle of yeah, but okay, but even then, so another example is the Photos viewer. That's what I was looking at before as well. The preview tool. So again, the preview tool is okay, I'm just gonna get cobblestone. Preview tool is not only, again, 100 or so kilobytes, but the performance is terrible. It takes a split second, like it takes like half a second, sometimes even longer, to open it, right? Which is ridiculous when you consider that it just has to load an image and then just display the image. There's nothing more that it has to do. But because it has all the UI, it has all the libraries and blah blah blah, a whole bunch of other stuff going on. It has like file explorer properties, like you can open up the image preview and you can sort of navigate to the next image, which could be useful, and I get that. But if you compromise that and you make a C application that is purely performance orientated, in the sense that the code literally inside the main loop loads the image, displays the image. That's it. There's nothing else. Now, if you consider, because I know that Windows has its own libraries for like loading PNG, and like again, I can tap into those libraries, but if you sort of use like a library, I say sort of, actually use a library like STB image, you only need that for loading. Now, unfortunately, that does sort of inflate it by, 80 kilobytes? But again, if you use UPX and you really, just focus on performance and size, you can have something that is quite small. So, I'm trying to remember how big my, so nothing kills me while I quickly check. How big is it? Let me see. Tools. Okay, so it's 130 kilobytes. Now, so this is interesting, because I'm just realizing maybe that's not... Photos... Because there's... Not that one. This one? No. What's the one that, Hold on. Pictures... What is it called? Open with... Photos. What is this application? Photos. Yeah, but... It's called Photos, but... Man, it has so much just extra shit. It's probably called something. I don't know. I don't know. Look, the point I'm mostly trying to make is also just performance. Like, I'm preaching about size, but performance is the other thing, because I knew that if you made something in C that is purely just, as I said, you load the image, display the image, that's it. Make a window, that's the size of the image, and you can add some, like, maybe some panning, some zooming, very basic stuff, that's fine. That's just, you're using the stretch DI bits function anyway, so it's very easy to stretch and manipulate the image, that's whatever. That doesn't actually take that much, operations size. Am I really going to dig all the way through this? Will there be will there be a hole on the other end? Do this for a bit. Yeah, anyway, so I did end up making my sort of image viewer thing, and it opens images basically instantaneously, and it's quite cool. I call it Viewer. A lot of my applications that I'm making, I'm sort of giving a sort of an ER or an OR sort of suffix names. So viewer, I don't know, editor, player, alter, freaking ending with the sort of noise at the end. Is that what the schwa is? I think so. Ooh. So, yeah. And it's fun as well, because not only is it actually making something that's useful, I realize that, yeah, calculator, that's a given. Like, I'm learning a lot making these tools, but it's also very eye-opening, because I'm realizing that a lot of what Microsoft makes these days is highly bloated, abstracted. Comparing to, my gosh, I'm thinking like Windows XP. Even, yeah, I'd say Windows, yeah, maybe earlier. But there was a period of time before the sort of inevitable bloat where applications were programmed very efficiently because they had to be. Every byte had to count because computers didn't have an infinite amount of memory, you know, at least compared to the olden days. Like MS-DOS days where every byte had to count, every operation. It was, you know, maybe not the absolute best, but it was definitely really well thought out, and things opened up, you know, quickly enough. But even then, if you open up like the Microsoft Photos app, like I was just doing before, you know, you've got the frickin' Copilot button and the designer button, and there's all of these really odd features that really make you scratch your head, because you're like, why do I need this in my, like, I just want to view images. There's nothing more that I want to do, really. And if there is, it would be a separate application. I think this is something that a lot of operating systems, mostly Windows, I guess, fall into the trap of, which is having to make these sort of monolithic programs that can do way more than what they really should do. And it's unfortunate because I personally like, what's it called? Compartmentalization? Crazy word. And that's kind of what it is, really. Like, I want to be able to, God, I haven't found anything. This is crazy. Oh, God, hiccups. Excuse me. You know, when I open up a photos executable to look at a photo, I want it to look at the photo. That's it. Like, I don't want anything else. When I was thinking about making a file explorer. Now, there is already a very good alternative. There's one called File Pilot. Now that's made by a very, very good programmer, and I'm thankful that he's put a lot of effort into it, because File Pilot is a very good tool. I use it every day. You can replace Windows Explorer with it. It's great. But even then, there's a part of me that's like, I kind of want to make my own. I want to see how minimal, because this is something that I really do wonder how many people agree with me on this, because what if I don't want what if I don't want bells and whistles? Like, what if it's just fine enough to have basically the bare minimum for the sake of speed? Now, I know that File Pilot in particular is actually very well programmed, because not only does it have a lot of features, but boy is it fast. It is snappy, borderline instantaneous when you're like jumping folders, and nothing really has to load because he programmed it in a way that is really just performance orientated, and I'd love to see that. He's got a custom renderer. It's beautiful. I really like it. And so there's not, you know, I can't really make something that's faster, probably. In fact, it might be slower in some cases because he's probably using some cool data structures and multi-threading and SIMD, blah. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of like optimizations you could have absolutely used for anything and everything, whatever it may be. But yeah, again, I sort of see it as a challenge because I'm going, oh, I kind of want to make something that is hyper minimal, just purely based on yeah, hyper minimalism. Oh my god, piss off! Yeah, go run away. Yeah, but even then, okay. So like another one, calculator. Again, Windows calculator is fine. Let's see how big it is. I use this tool called Everything, by the way. I highly recommend. Calculator.exe. 4 megabytes. Wow. Really? Windows apps deleted. Why does it say deleted? It really makes me wonder, like, where is... Oh, calc.exe? There we go. Whoa. What? 27? Oh no, wait, that's a link. Where's that linking to? Hold on, bear with me. Link properties. Links to... Whoa. Calc.exe. I'm trying to find, wait, calc.exe. Hold on. But that's also a hard link. What is this linking to? Link. That's strange. 27 kilobytes. Again, it makes me wonder how much is just relying on some library. 27 kilobytes, huh. Fascinating. Windows is such a strange operating system because a lot of applications are basically just a bunch of calls to libraries, and these libraries can be many, many megabytes in size. Maybe even tens or hundreds of megabytes, depending on the library. Yeah, it's like it really makes me wonder. Something like calculator, I was not expecting it to be 27 kilobytes. Kind of fishy. It's a hard link, though. I would have thought that, like, it has to link somewhere. Like, what is it actually opening? Previous versions, details. Link properties, hard link. System32 calc.exe. But all of these are hard links. So unless it's a link that is to something that's renamed, I'm not sure. I'm gonna sneeze. I had to mute there. That was loud. God damn, all these folders. Why are there so many core? Oh, I see. There's just all of the... Oh my god. I realize you can't see this. Calc. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Shit's fascinating. Where am I going? I feel like that unfortunately undermines some of the things that I was saying. Cause like, it's a hard link. It's not a real, well, it is a real thing, but it's like, it's 27 kilobytes. Damn. That's quite small. Then again, I guess calculator, it doesn't have, it's not like it's loading anything, right? But it has a whole bunch of assets, like images and buttons and UI and stuff like that. Where am I going? Where did I come from? Where did I come from? Oh. Yeah, a whole bunch of UI and assets and stuff, which I find interesting. Come here. Come here. Come here. Got him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Something like calculator might be a little futile, because Windows Calculator works actually perfectly fine. It was mostly the photos. Actually, no, I'll keep going this way. It was mostly the Photos app that I found kind of ridiculous, because it was just so slow in opening and viewing an image, and I'm like, just show me the goddamn picture. Like, it's so, I don't need other stuff. I don't need anything else. Which way should we go? Would increasing the render distance help me? Let's see. It's only 16. Let's go 24. Nope. It's got that nether fog stuff. Just makes it borderline impossible to okay. Let's go. Let's go this way. So yeah, and the other one is the music player. So a lot of the time you tend to get something like VLC, right? Because VLC is pretty good. There's a new version of VLC 4, I think, where they've completely redone the UI, which is cool. But again, it still takes a moment to open, and I don't know. Again, I feel like there's an opportunity for this hyper minimal version where it doesn't really have anything else. And I know that there are certain trade-offs, like for example, being able to load. Like, the thing about VLC is that you're able to load basically any type of audio or video. But I don't know. I think for the most part, being able to open just WAV, OGG, so Vorbis, MP3, maybe, just sort of like the basic audio formats. That basically covers most of your bases, right? Like, there's not really, I can't really think of any other, like maybe FLAC, maybe? Like FLAC is pretty useful, pretty common. Can I make this go down? Yeah, and again, it's like, it's just trying to solve the the sort of question, or I guess the it's not really a problem, but like why do we have to have these monolithic programs? Like VLC is good, but it is monolithic. You can also open up videos, and for someone like me who does not really I don't watch videos on my computer. I just want something that is the most minimal, lightweight audio tool that is built with raw C, and it is compiled with maximum optimization and everything, and it is just as fast as possible. That's it. You click it, it loads the audio, and it just plays. There's nothing else happening. In fact, there might not even, like, the UI would just be like a few buttons and that's it. Maybe add a queue feature, perhaps. But surely I'm not alone in thinking this, because I've always sort of had this feeling towards applications. Like, I just want it to do the thing and nothing else. And there's always bugs and there's always problems, and I'm going, how could there be bugs when the sole purpose is to just do one thing? So from the ground up, you do that one thing, and during development, you test every single step, you unit test it, and you basically make it perfect. You make it flawless. There's no way that it could fail because you've tested it in every possible way. Especially when you have a single task like that. This is the problem with monolithic apps. They sort of get caught up in having to do everything, and that is just a recipe for disaster, or for bugs. Let's go up there. Might as well. I'll go across. Yeah, and so it's frustrating because, like, good lord. Man. Because I know it's possible, right? Like, I know... Excuse me. Oh, my throat. I know it's possible to make applications that are actually lightweight, that are actually basically perfect. And I say that quite seriously. I don't think many people understand that programming in general, computer code, you can probably hear the airplane, can be perfect to the definition. There is nothing in the operations that exist within the executable that will do anything else. For example, my viewer application, which is able to open up images and view them, there's nothing it cannot break. There's nothing that can go wrong, because its only task is to open an image and show the image. The only thing that can go wrong is if you open up an image that it doesn't support. But that's not broken. That's just a missing feature, right? So, I don't know. I find it so fascinating because there's this opportunity to make tools that are basically perfect. They don't have anything wrong with them. You can use them and they are reliable, and that's it, right? Why can't... Oh. It's like, why can't I place torches? Because I don't have any. There we go. Yeah. So, as time goes on and as I develop my custom abstraction and I build more things, I want to lean into this idea of one task for an executable and do that task perfectly. As in, there are no bugs, so it needs to be, you know, tested and everything. But the idea is, it would just work. There's nothing strange that could possibly go wrong because it has been designed from the ground up to work flawlessly, right? So, okay, I'm possibly going to get lost, so I'm just gonna go this way. Yeah, so, I don't know. I don't want to get too preachy, but I say as I've been talking about this for ages. But I just think that, like, imagine... Here's a thought. Imagine you had an operating system where every single part of it, every part, every executable, every feature, everything is flawless. Genuinely. Like, it has zero problems. You can rely on it quite literally 100%. Nothing could ever go wrong. Wouldn't that be nice? It's weird how that sounds so ridiculous, and yet we're so... like, we've kind of just gotten used to dealing with operating systems that just don't work, or not even operating systems, even just applications in general. Things just don't work as intended, or, like, as I said, with Windows 11, where they're adding shit that really does not need to be added. The amount of extra fluff there is so needless. Especially with all this AI stuff happening. It's like, we don't need it. Give me something that opens instantly, works reliably, and is performant. Runs really well, you know, doesn't lag, doesn't anything. I mean, even things like Task Manager. The shit was that noise? Even things like Task Manager occasionally has problems. I know there's like that one guy who made Task Manager and I don't know. Like, I get that it's a pretty reliable application, but there are times when it's just not. Where maybe the performance is bad, or it takes 1,000 years to open up, which is probably caused by other things, but, you know, the CPU being used, or maxed out, or whatever it is. I'm not finding anything. This is kind of disheartening. I was really hoping to find a fortress by now. We're almost at the 50-minute mark. Yeah, so, I don't know. I think in the new year is when I'm going to be starting to, I guess you could say, advertise my custom tools. I'll be talking about Viewer. I'll be working on, I think the other one I want to make is, it's called Editor. So it's just it's basically MS Paint, right? I want something that brings back MS Paint, because the new MS Paint is trash. Don't get me started on 3D Paint, or Paint 3D, or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, so basically I wanted something that's like MS Paint, but a bit more like Sprite. So MS Paint, but with layers and like canvas controls where you can pan things around and zoom, and it's a bit more usable. Because again, in Windows, you have this ability, in terms of, you know, as a programmer, you can make tools without relying on a GPU, by the way. This is purely GPU-less, in the sense that I'm not using OpenGL, I'm not using Vulkan. Windows has its own functions. It has a function called stretch DI bits, which literally allows you to render pixels stretched to a window, which means that you can zoom, you can, like, it's you can do anything. It just requires, I guess, programming it and actually putting together something that actually works and is usable. And I've been playing around with it. I've been thinking about maybe new ways to sort of manage a pixel art editor. Like, wouldn't it be cool to deal with multiple projects on the same sort of space? You know, like with Sprite, you've got tabs. And I know you can do split screen, but I'm talking about, like, you have basically an infinite area that things can sort of exist in, and when, you know, you think if you've got like one project and you're doing pixel art on one project, and you can just pan across and you have the other project, or maybe instead of some panning of the world, maybe they themselves exist in some space. God, hiccups and burps. Jeez, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. It's borderline addicting to conceptualize a lot of this, because it makes, ooh, that's risky. I don't want you to hit me into the. How about you can go in the lava? Yeah, so I really want to do something. As I said, I started with Viewer, and Viewer works really well. You can open up images instantaneously. You can pan, you can... I made the buttons 1, 2, 3. It has a saddle? Why does that have a saddle? Why does this... Has that always been a thing? How do I even get to it? That's crazy. Okay. Let's put some torches there. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll see how it goes. I'll see sort of what I want to do next. I've been fiddling with editor. I've been really because I'm a pixel artist as well, right? So I really would like to make my own pixel art tool that is just hyper minimal, really efficient, and then just sort of go from there. I think it'd be kind of cool. Okay, so we made some progress with the... Oh, shit. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, because I think it'll be really fun to make sort of a collection of tools that that all have this sort of idea of what's the least amount of C code and the least amount of operations to make a minimal viable product of some tool. So with Viewer, it's quite easy. There's some sort of image viewer or opener or whatever, where the goal is simple. It's like, I just want to open up an image and look at the image as fast as possible. And so with that, it's like, okay, cool. And so you can sort of gather how it makes you as a user feel. Is it enough? I've got not enough wood. Oh, that kind of sucks. Actually, let me... like that. Damn. Yeah, you know? I just think there's a lot of room for potential here. Yeah, I'll do that. What else? What should I do here? think it's fine. Again, I was really hoping to find a fortress, but that's alright. I probably need to start farming because I don't have any food other than this pork chop, so that's fine. Quartz. Bone. Flint. Yeah. Cool. Oh, thank you, Scrimmy. Let's see if it's another chicken. Nope. Yeah. Okay. So 5 minutes left. That's pretty productive. As I said, I mostly just wanted to go to the Nether. Talk shit about how terrible Windows applications are, you know. Kind of the same with Linux, in the sense that with Linux you also sort of have to, depending on the desktop you have or the repo, and there's so many duplicate of applications and the that was someone's alarm. And so, for example, with my abstraction, this is the other part that I haven't mentioned yet. It is OS agnostic, or at least what you program in. You don't have to worry about, oh, will this work on Linux? Will it work on Windows? Will they be the same? Because the answer is yes, they will. I've made an abstraction for C that basically allows you to program without having to worry about the operating system. Oh, it's already daytime, is it? And so this is the thing. It's like what I'm talking about is not just Windows specific. It's also for Linux. Now Mac is a different question. Theoretically, it should be fine, and I just need to add some sort of window. Now, there are just certain things it might need to support, but also I'm not a big fan of Apple, so I kind of just left it. And I think it's good to have at least native, because it's with X11. I know that there are some people who really prefer Wayland for Linux, but X11 for Linux and Windows. And what you can do is you can make an application, and when you compile it on either, it will work basically flawlessly. I've really put a lot of care and effort into it, and oh my gosh, we've got a friend. Hello. Yeah. So it's something that I'll probably be talking about more. It's something that I'm excited about. Thank you. I don't know if you can hear that. There's so many sirens going on. I'm heading towards Christmas. Maybe some accents are happening. But I do hope you all have a great Christmas or holidays or whatever you celebrate, really. Let me check the calendar. Yeah, it's in a few days. So yeah. So I think by the time the next episode comes out, it'll be post-Christmas. In fact, it will be almost New Year's, I think, by that time. But yeah. I'm wondering about what to do next. As I said, I was really hoping to find a fortress, so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll need to do a farm. I need to find some Endermen, possibly. Probably need to work towards, because I need to get some blaze rods. That's also what I'm looking for, right? Because I'm looking for, looking towards, beating the end dragon. Like, that is what I want to do. Ender dragon. Yeah. Anyway, this was fun. Thank you all very much for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Wishing you all a wonderful upcoming week. Yeah. Thank you all for watching again. I'll see you later. Bye bye.